Tom Holland is gone from the MCU, baby. You know what that means.
Pizza time.
I take great pride in that intro. I really do. What is up, guys, and welcome back to McGahee's Entertainment. I'm your host, Adam McGahee. To break things down, let's talk about what everyone's talking about right now. You've been seeing a bunch of memes about it. You've been seeing articles spread about it online and everything. The Spider-Man Sony debacle. So for those of you who don't know exactly what it is that happened, I'll just break down the nitty-gritty, just the give you an overview basis of what happened. So back when Spider-Man first appeared in Captain America Civil War back in 2016, this all happened because Sony and Disney reached an agreement where basically Sony would be renting out the rights to view Spider-Man in a Marvel movie to Disney, and due to that, Marvel had to share a ton of the profits to Sony. And then when Spider-Man Far From Home came out and Spider-Man Homecoming, when both of those movies came out, I mean, it was still part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where you'd see Spider-Man in those movies with the Avengers and everything. But the majority of the profits went to Sony, and from all the money that Marvel made with Avengers Endgame, and from all the money that Spider-Man Homecoming made, Marvel was kind of like, we can start making a little bit more money off of Spider-Man, if you know what I'm saying. And due to this, because Disney wanted to make more of a profit off of Spider-Man, they approached Sony with a new deal that would split the profits between upcoming Spider-Man movies evenly, 50-50. And Sony was having no parts of that whatsoever. Sony has had the rights to Spider-Man movies for a very long time. I believe they acquired the movie rights to Spider-Man for dirt cheap back in the 90s. And that's why then back in the early 2000s, they produced the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Their license was getting ready to expire with the Spider-Man license. That's why we got the Andrew Garfield movies. And then they reached the whole deal with Disney and everything to create the new Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. But then when Marvel approached them with this 50-50 deal, they said, no way. And due to this, since both parties couldn't play fair, they couldn't come up with a decision. And thus, the film rights to Spider-Man essentially fully go back to Sony now. And since they had the popular Venom movie that just came out last year, they have a bunch of upcoming Spider-Man franchises, movies without Spider-Man that are coming up, like Morbius and other movies like that. I know like a Black Cat movie was rumored and everything. And then since they have the rights to these other Spider-Man characters, but Spider-Man was part of the Disney Marvel Universe, people were wondering how Sony was going to do this Spider-Man cinematic universe without Spider-Man. And as of this week, they got Spider-Man back. Now, for my friends who know me, who know my take on the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, they know I don't like them. There's just something about Tom Holland I don't like. Maybe it's just actors named Tom that I don't like, because I do not like Tom Cruise at all. Oh man, can you imagine if they did a movie together? I wouldn't see it. And what's really weird is that Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. I used to read all of the Spider-Man comics as a kid. Loved them. I still read a bunch of Spider-Man comics. And maybe it's because of the nostalgia factor, but I love the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. I even kind of like the Andrew Garfield movies, but just something about the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies I don't like. Unpopular opinion, I really don't feel like they feel like Spider-Man movies. They feel like just like typical Marvel movies with your insert template hero character here, and that hero just happens to be Spider-Man. I don't know, I feel like it's like just very, like he's like, it's a very cookie cutter style movies with Tom Holland. And him himself. So anyways, when I heard the news that the rights to Spider-Man were lost from Disney and then went back to Sony, I wasn't all that broken up about it. Because honestly, I really liked the last two Spider-Man franchise movies that Sony did. I actually really liked Venom. I thought that was a great movie. And of course, everyone did like Into the Spider-Verse. And for me, that is the definitive Spider-Man movie. Like that, even though it was animated, it was the best Spider-Man movie ever. It just encapsulated the character of Peter Parker, of Miles Morales, and all the other Spider-Man into it, and fit it all to a well-timed, just well-acted, and just an excellent made movie. I mean, it won an Oscar, for goodness sake. Honestly, I'm actually kind of excited that Spider-Man has gone back to Sony, because now we can probably get a live-action Spider-Verse. I know a lot of people have been talking about this. They want a huge Spider-Man team-up movie with Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire, and possibly Miles Morales to all team up together in live action on the big screen. And honestly, that would be the superhero blockbuster probably of the last decade. It would probably, in my opinion, it would be the second biggest event next to Endgame. And honestly, like, legally, that could happen now. Like, it's way more of a possibility happening now that Spider-Man has gone to Sony than it ever would be with Spider-Man in the hands of Disney. A lot of people are saying this, and it's my own personal fan theory of myself too. Now that he is back in the hands of Sony, I also think there's a high chance that Spider-Man might be in Venom 2 now. I know the movie has been greenlit, of course, because Venom 1 made a ton of money. Andy Serkis is on board as the director, and Carnage is going to be the main villain in the movie. Now, I'm pretty sure the script is probably next to being completed, if it's not completed already. But I'm sure maybe as a post-credit scene, or maybe even right at the very end, Spider-Man might swing in and team up with Venom and maybe have some kind of end fight against Carnage. But most likely at this point, it might be a post-credit scene with Spider-Man kind of teasing his big cinematic universe that is to come. So I think that would be really cool, and there's a very high potential of that happening just due to the timing and how everything is working right now. So I'm honestly very excited for that. People have been clamoring, have been waiting to see Spider-Man and Venom fighting each other in theaters, and it's probably going to happen. It's inevitable that it's going to happen. To my sadness, though, but to the public's happiness, he's probably going to come back to the MCU. He's way too profitable of a character for Disney just to lose like that. I'm sure they're going to go back to Sony and be like, hey, listen, we were wrong about things. Keep the money. Just give us Spider-Man back. So yeah, I have full confidence that Spider-Man's going to be going back to Disney. I mean, both Disney and Sony, I mean, they have some of the best lawyers on the planet. They're going to come up with a deal. Don't you worry. Spider-Man's going to be again with the Avengers and everything. And who knows, he might even bounce between Disney and Sony movies now. So we might be able to get a really cool Spider-Man cinematic universe on its own. And then when he needs to, then he'll come back with the Avengers and do those kind of movies too. I mean, I think they're going to work out something real nice, and it's actually might even work out something better than what we originally had to begin with. And don't worry, Spider-Man vs. Venom, it will come one way, shape, or another. I just can't wait to see Spider-Man with the black suit, even though it's going to be Tom Holland. I don't care. I just want to see the cool alien black suit on the big screen, and it's going to happen. Don't y'all worry. Alright, yeah, I wanted to keep this video on the shorter side, even though it's approaching to like a little over 8 minutes now. Just wanted to give my insight on what I thought about the whole Spider-Man debacle. It's all going to be resolved soon. But yeah, this has been Friday Entertainment News with McAdee's Entertainment. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe and comment below what you think is going to happen with the Spider-Man debate between Disney and Sony. What do you want to see happen with the future of Spider-Man? What do you think of Tom Holland? Who's your favorite Spider-Man actor? I'd love to hear what you think. This has been McAdee's Entertainment with your host, Adam McAdee, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.